where we talk about how you can leverage your expertise by taking that valuable knowledge that you've got in your head, turning it into digital learning products so you can create impact, scale, and live the lifestyle you desire. And this one, what we want to talk about today is this idea of all of the content that we've got and looking at how we can leverage that content because we've got so much content available. And so I want to take you through what I call the content repurposing formula. Or in another title would be how to create a shitload of content from one pillar. And what we're doing is really having this understanding that delivering your educational content online is the key to a profitable and scalable business. There's only so much time that we've got available. There's only so much time that we can spend in a day working with our clients, delivering information, delivering transformation. And certainly that ability to deliver transformation where our clients get those key breakthroughs, those aha moments, is the key piece. And if we can avoid the time that we're spending delivering information, then we're able to do more time spending on that transformation, and we can create much more impact. And that's the big thing, is that we want to create impact. We want to help people. We want to change lives. And by putting the content online, by putting a lot of that information online, it saves you so much time. And you then aren't the key person, and you're able to then scale as part of that whole process. So it's really valuable to be able to do that. And when we're doing that, is we look at putting this content and trying to unpack that intellectual property and creating this ecosystem of learning experiences where we take people through and we can deliver interest products that get people engaged in who we are, what we do, and also highlight the problems that they might have and how we've got the solution to solve those problems. Information products that step a little bit more into that problem solving piece, the implementation products that help them to actually solve the problem, and integration that looks at how they can actually take that onto into another space as part of that whole thing. And that's what we're going to look at today, because the reality is the knowledge in your head is invaluable, but it's intangible. And if you can't get that knowledge out of your head, then it's invaluable. It's intangible. So you've got to be able to get it out of your head. But that's a bit of a challenge. It's a bit of a challenge to be able to do that. But when you do it, people get to know you. They get to know, like, and trust you. And for people to want to work with you, they need to know, like, and trust you. So you've got to get that content out of there. You've got to explain your method. You've got to explain your methodology, your values, the way that you work, and who you do. And one of the ways you do that is by getting content out there and creating content as part of that whole process, and delivering content that's going to generate interest, and delivering content that's going to engage with the audience. But that's, I suppose, the big issue, is that content creation is going to take time. And that's the challenge. We only have so much time. Okay. Content creation will take time to create that valuable content that's going to provide interest, that's going to provide information, that's going to help to engage your audience and get them to know, like, and trust you. But you can actually save time by repurposing content. And by doing so, that is going to be a huge thing. So let's jump in and have a look more about how do we do that? How do we do that? And the content repurposing formula. And the formula is basically very simple. Okay, it's basically one pillar into multiple learning assets. So I'm going to take you through a process, and I'm going to a bit of a case study, I suppose. And we're looking at one key piece of pillar content. Okay. Now, for this example, and for me talking through this with you, I'm going to use one of our ebooks as an example. So our ebook, 6 Benefits of a Signature Solution. Okay. Now, an ebook is great. An ebook is actually relatively easy to create. And I've got some tips that I provide to people that work with us on how to do this even easier. Um, but we could do video. You could do a whole range of other things, but obviously video can be quite lengthy, and don't necessarily become as big a pillar piece as what ideally you'd want. Whereas an ebook is a little bit more robust and can become that foundational piece of pillar content. So that's the first piece. We need to obviously create some content. And I think putting together an ebook and an ebook that talks about the benefits or the problems or the mistakes or something like that. And you'll see with this one, I'm talking about the 6 benefits. So thinking about creating an ebook that maybe does 3 to 6 things. Can you talk about the 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 benefits that you can provide? Or maybe it's the 5 mistakes that people make, or the 4 key things that you need to do to be able to achieve X. And by putting that together. So that's the key thing, is put this together, this piece of pillar content that is going to provide some value to your audience. So we're going to talk to them, and this one obviously is doing that. And so you can see here down the bottom, we've already got one piece of content. So we create that piece of pillar content. Then we start to apply the content repurposing process and put that formula into place. So what we then want to do is then want to go, okay, we want to create some talking head videos. Okay, want to get out there. So I've already unpacked some of that IP into this ebook. We've already talked about things. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create some talking head videos. So you've created your ebook. In our case, we've got our 6 benefits. Then we're going to do a talking head video. One of those videos is going to give an overview of the 6 benefits. 2 to 3 minutes, nothing too long. Okay, just a very short piece of content that talks about those 6 benefits, what they are, without going into too much detail. We then go and create 6 more talking head videos, and they are aimed at each of the benefits. And that's where we're going to talk about each benefit in more detail. Again, 2 to 3 minutes. I suppose that the length of time is that how long's a piece of string. If you can get across everything that you need to get across in 2 minutes, that's great. If you need to spend 4 minutes, okay, then you need to spend 4 minutes to get the information across. But try and make it as small and tight as possible. So immediately you can see, just by repurposing that ebook that we've created into the talking head videos, we can see we've now got 8 pieces of content. Next step, we then want to take those videos, and obviously a lot of those videos that we shoot, they're going to be in a landscape version, but sometimes we want them in a different size. And especially if we're looking at putting them onto Instagram or TikTok or other things like that, then that vertical size. So what we then need to do is we want to look at resizing them. And I find that a tool like Content Fries is a great tool that allows you to do that very quickly and easily. You can resize your videos, go from landscape to vertical. And now we've gone from our 8 pieces of content, our ebook, and our 7 talking head videos. We've now got 15 videos, 15 pieces of content, 14 videos, 7 landscape, 7 vertical. Content repurposing, it's growing. We're then going to take those videos, take 7 videos, and we're going to convert them into audio files. So you've now got a bit of a short little podcast type thing, okay, that some of your audience might be interested in, and creating an audio file from those videos. We're now at 22. What we can then do after that is then create a SlideShare video. Very similar to what I'm doing here now, okay? It doesn't actually have a talking head involved, and maybe it's just a couple of slides and imagery and some key messages. And then you can tap into that audio that you've extracted. And we now create 7 SlideShare videos. So we've got engaging people in a different way. We're still engaging them with a video medium, but it's not that straight talking head type model. We're now putting together some SlideShare type presentations and people can access them. This could go on to things like SlideShare and other platforms, engaging with people in other ways. We can also then look at maybe going, right, let's grab an animation tool, something like Vyond or Powtoon or Render Forest. There's a whole range of animation tools out there. And look at going, great, we're now going to take those key messages and we're going to create an animated video. So effectively what we've got is we've got the same message being delivered in 3 different ways. We've got it being delivered as a talking head video. We've got it being delivered as a SlideShare video, and we've got it now being delivered as an animated video. So you can see we're now at 36. We've now got 36 different pieces of content that were taken. So one piece of content was our ebook that we created, and from that we've now repurposed 35 different pieces of content. So you can see how it's growing. Then we're going to go, okay, what about some emails? We've got an email, we've got a list of people that we want to engage with, and let's pull out some of those messages from each of from around the ebook. Let's pull out some key messages and let's put together some emails that reinforce what we're talking about. And also let's unpack that ebook and let's put together some blog articles. Okay, so again, 7 emails, 7 blog articles, and we've just jumped. We're now at 50 pieces of content. We then look at going, let's create some quote cards. Okay, I'm sure in the ebook that you've written, there's probably some valuable, lovely, great bits of information, and there's probably some key pieces that can pull out where you can just have some very short quotes. And I suspect that you'd be able to get at least 2 for each of those things. I know certainly with our book, 6 benefits, we can get 2 out of each of those. So there's another 12 pieces of content. And so these are quote cards that you then go and put on Facebook, Instagram, etc. Just simple pieces of imagery that engage people in that way. Then what we can do is create an infographic. Okay, so one big infographic that wraps up and maybe just gives a bit of an overview of everything around, okay, these are the benefits of the signature solution, rather than, don't necessarily go into the ebook, but you want to engage with people in more details. This could be a great lead into people downloading and accessing your ebook. So we've got the infographic there. So at 63, and then last thing you can do is then you can take that knowledge that you've written into that ebook and you can create a webinar or maybe a quick live stream and go, right, I'm going to do a live stream and I'm going to talk about the 6 key benefits of a signature solution. Bang, we've got a live stream. So there we are, 64 pieces of content. So we've created that one. And that's the content repurposing formula. It's really looking at taking that one key piece of pillar content. And so you can have a look at that for yourself and think about, well, what does that look like? So obviously it's not going to be 64. If you write an ebook that says, write one piece of pillar content with, if it's only got 3 topics, then you're going to have 3 talking head videos. You can have 3 vertical talking head videos. You can have 3 audio files, 3 SlideShare videos. You get the picture. But you've still got a range, quite a wide range of content. Even if you're only doing 3, what have we got there? 24, 25, 26, 27 pieces of content. Okay, 27 pieces of content. So even if you just shared one of those out once a week, you've still 6 months worth of content that's out there. So you can see where we've taken that formula, put that into place with 6 topics, and we've got our 64 pieces of content. So very, very simple to repurpose that one key piece of pillar content. And as I said, ideally an ebook seems to be the thing that works well for a lot of us. Now, I did say you can save time by repurposing content. And you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, you're just saying I've got to go and do all this work. I've created an ebook and I've got to do all of this work and I've got to create, pull that out and create 64 pieces of content. Yes and no. Okay. The time to actually do all of that is certainly a lot shorter and easier than if you are creating 64 pieces of content where you've actually got to really go and think about what is all of that information, what is that, and writing and going through that whole process of creation. That is certainly going to be a big time saver. But also the reality is that you, as the expert, probably only need to be involved in the creation of 9 pieces of content. And that's assuming that you're doing a pillar content with 6 topics. If you're only doing one with 3 topics, then you're really only going to be involved in the creation of 5 things. So you as the expert probably needs to pull together and put together an ebook as part of that process. Then you would want to go on and create some talking head videos where you're talking about each of those topics in that piece of pillar content. And then you're probably also going to want to be the expert at the end there delivering that webinar, that live stream. But the reality is, once you've created those talking head videos, you should then be able to hand them over to your VA or outsource them to someone on Upwork or etc. And they should be able to then convert them. They take the talking head videos and turn them into verticals. They can pull out the audio files. They potentially could put together the SlideShare videos. They could, or pass on, or you could pass on to someone else to look at creating the animated videos. They can transcribe. You could use tools like Rev or Otter and transcribe what has been said, or take it directly from the ebook and create those emails and blog articles. They can read through it and pull out the quote cards, and they could get a graphic designer to go and create that infographic. So while we're talking 64 pieces of content, the reality is that you, as the expert, the person that's getting the knowledge out of your head, you don't have to deliver and do all of it. So that's really the content repurposing formula. It gives you a great way of putting content together. Now, if you want to know more about some of this stuff, and we've got some things coming up, jump onto the Maven Zeal Academy. We've got more and more content. We're going to do a big launch on the Academy very shortly. Just finishing off a few things, but certainly we've got a range of learning programs, and that includes things around content repurposing, how to create content, how to leverage your expertise, how to launch your online programs. There's a whole range of different programs there that are coming on the Maven Zeal thing. As usual with Tuesday Talks, any questions, comments, please drop them in the chat below, and me or the team will be engaged and we'll jump in and answer them for you. And if you're not already, jump on and join our Facebook group. Love to see you there. And that's it. That's pretty much our talk for this week. As we talk about this week's Tuesday Talk, how to repurpose content, the content repurposing formula. So I suppose my challenge for you, just wrapping this up, is to go out there and look at how I can create an ebook, put together some content, and then look at how we can actually repurpose that. And I've got a talk for next Tuesday where I'm actually going to tie into this a little bit more and going to, I don't know, might be a bit of a secret for some people. Some people know about it. We're going to show you another way that you can actually create some content really quickly and easily that is even potentially going to even speed up that whole process even more. So hopefully you'll tune in for that one for next week's Tuesday Talk. So look forward to seeing you then. Thank you. Bye.